Jon Jones, Sean O'Malley, and the biggest star the UFC has ever had, Conor McGregor. All three have one thing in common. They all had Dana White privilege. Dana White privilege is something known to MMA fans and the hardcore UFC fans. Dana White privilege is seen as favoritism. If you are the very best in the UFC, then you are fighting the very best and not receiving favorable matchups. However, in recent years, we have seen stars created because of these favorable matchups and because of what we like to call Dana White privilege. Sean O'Malley has been accused of having Dana White privilege, and I 100% agree. Before he fought Peter Yan, name me more than one opponent not named Chito Vera that fought Sean O'Malley. I bet you can't even remember without Googling his record. No disrespect to those other fighters, but they weren't contenders. He fought Peter Yan for a number one contender spot. Arguably, he lost to Peter Yan. He goes on to fight Aljo Sterling, and more drama follows there. Aljo claimed that he wanted rest, but was forced into the Sean O'Malley fight before he would have liked. Then, in his first title defense, he defends it against Merab Dvalishvili. Oh wait, no he didn't. He had a grudge match against Chito Vera. Chito, great fighter. Love watching him fight. I tune in every time he competes. But let's be honest, he wasn't deserving of a title shot. Then, Merab Dvalishvili finally gets a crack at Sean O'Malley. And what happens? Sean O'Malley loses the belt. Back to the contenders line. Nope! Didn't have to fight not one time after losing a one-sided fight against a new champion. Merab definitely doesn't have Dana White privilege, but he is a badass in his own right. We move on to Jon Jones. So now Jon Jones fights Tom Aspinall. Nope. He still fought an aging Stipe Miocic. Stipe is one of the greatest heavyweights of all time and arguably the heavyweight GOAT. But he's past his prime. Now we have a guy right in the midst of his prime, Tom Aspinall. Will they fight? Maybe. We'll have to see if that Dana White privilege ever runs out. Now we move on to one of the biggest superstars in all of sports, the notorious Conor McGregor. In his UFC start, beats a young Max Holloway, beats a young Dustin Poirier. But then you're telling me he beats Dennis Silver to fight for an interim featherweight championship? Why didn't he fight a Cub Swanson? Why didn't he fight a Frankie Edgar? Somebody who would have given him problems in the wrestling department. He had a lot of favorable stand-up matchups. The rest is history. He is a global superstar. Yet, we have to wonder, would he have been a global superstar? Without that Dana White privilege, we will never know. There are pros to having Dana White privilege, as we see new stars being created, like a Sean O'Malley, like a previously mentioned Conor McGregor. These guys are becoming superstars, but there are also cons to Dana White's privilege. It avoids matchups that the fans would like to see. I guarantee you, fans would have loved to have seen Conor McGregor versus Cub Swanson. That would have been an amazing matchup. Somebody was getting finished in that fight. I guarantee you, fans would have loved to see Conor McGregor against Frankie Edgar, another fan favorite and a legend in the sport. You're telling me they wouldn't want to see Sean O'Malley fight Merab before the Bantamweight Championship? You're telling me you don't want to see Umar Nurmagomedov fight Sean O'Malley? Or how about Triple C getting his hands on Sean O'Malley? These are very much matchups Sean O'Malley can win and very much matchups that can give Sean problems. But this is how stars are born. You go out and test them and see what they're made of. But because of Dana White privilege, we didn't get that opportunity until Merab stepped in at UFC Noche. It's unfair to deserving contenders. We see it in Tom Aspinall's case. He has been waiting for Jon Jones for almost 2 years now, and he doesn't even know if he's going to fight Jon Jones in 2025. There are rumors circulating that he is going to fight Cyril Gane, but that is completely unfair to Tom Aspinall, holding an interim belt, a belt that many people don't consider the real belt, even though he has been defending it the way Jon Jones should have been defending it. It takes an opportunity away from Tom Aspinall not just being a superstar in the United Kingdom. It takes away from him being a great superstar globally. He has that potential. And worst of all, it's giving the UFC boxing vibes. Boxing was once seen as the upper echelon in sports. When there is a great boxing fight, the world tuned in to watch. Nowadays, we tune in to watch Ryan Garcia run to the bank with their millions. We saw this with Canelo fighting William Skull. We are starting to see this in the UFC. Not quite at that boxing level yet, but we are starting to slowly see matchups we want to see disintegrate. I've been a fan of this sport for over a decade, and I hope it continues to be the number one contender fighting for the belt each and every time, because that's what it should be. That's what made this sport so great, and that's what will continue making this sport great.